Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Ramesh. Okay. Okay. We're holding Ayin Vav 76. 76A. We're on the top of the page, I think. Taner Rabbanan. Is that correct? Taner Rabbanan, it's 3 lines from the top. Start in the Braisa. It tells us it's a Tesefta. It says like this. Hariza Gittin Daf. Thank Hashem that we're able to learn Torah every day. In this list of our learning, we have Beis Hamikdash. It says like this: Hariza Gittin Daf Lamanashe Shet Shamshi Yes Abba Shtei Shanim, Lamanashe Tniki Yes Bni Shtei Shanim. Afal Pishlei Niskayim Matnai Hariza Get. Pishlei Yamala Im Tishamshim Lei Tishamshim Tnikim Lei Tniki Divri Reb Meir. Learning now the opinion of Reb Meir that says that whenever you make a stipulation, you have to go both ways. You have to say, if the stipulation is like this: this is your get. If you're willing, and if you will, serve my father for 2 years, or if you nurse the child, my child for 2 years. And the husband did not then say, and if you don't, then it's not a get. So, and he gives the get, and she doesn't nurse the child, and she doesn't serve the father. It's not a problem. It's still a good get. Why? Because he didn't double his get. He didn't double his tanai. It wasn't a tanai kafel. He didn't go back and forth saying, if you do it, yes. If you don't do it, no. He only said it one way. If you do it, yes. Okay, that's the opinion of Reb Meir. We've learned the Reb Meir's view before. You need a tanai kafel. The Chacham say niskayim at tanai hareza get. Only if you fulfill the condition will it be a good get. A get, and if you don't, it's not a good get. So we've heard that opinion as well. I guess that you don't need a tanai kafel. Reb Shimon ben Gamliel ein lecha tanai b'ksuvim sheina kafel. Reb Shimon ben Gamliel says that in the Torah we always find a tanai kafel. Now you could take this, what Reb Shimon ben Gamliel is saying, you could take it 2 ways. Either he means to say that that's what you find in the Torah, but that's not the halacha. Why? How could it be in the Torah and not the halacha? It means that you can't extrapolate from there to anywhere else, as we're about to see. Or what it means is, no, that is the halacha. You see, every time we find in the Torah a stipulation, it's always doubled. So it goes like this. Ikada Amri, Reb Meir Kamala. There are those that are saying that he's telling this to Reb Meir. Ikada Amri Rabbana Kamala. And there's those that are saying that he's telling this to Rabbanan. Those that say that he's saying to Reb Meir, this is what he's telling Reb Meir. In the Torah, every time there's a Tanai, it's always doubled. By the Bnei Gad and Bnei Ruvain, by the Saita, it says if he slept with, he lay with her, or he did not lay with her, it goes both ways. Something else in Yeshaya. It's always doubled. Which means that we have more than one location in the Torah where it says this. Now, we have a rule that whenever it says something once in the Torah, we consider that a precedent, and you can derive from that to everywhere else. If it says it twice in the Torah, then we say that we don't consider that a precedent, and you cannot derive from that. Why? Because if the Torah wanted to teach me that I'm supposed to do this, and it only has to say it once. If it says it twice, it means that those are the exceptions to the rule, and you don't learn from that. So, because it says it twice, so you can't learn from that to everywhere else. So Tanai Kafel is only mentioned in the Torah, but everywhere else we don't say that you need a double stipulation. Ikadamri, there are those that say it differently. The Rabbanan Kamalu, that Reb Shimon ben Gamliel was arguing on the sages, Vachi Kamalu, this is what he's saying. Ein lecha Tanai b'ksuvim sheina kafel. Any stipulation in the Torah is always double. And you have to learn from there. See, if it's in the Torah, you have to take example. We're talking about divorce documents with stipulations on it. So it's only effective if you do this, if you do that. And so how does he have to say it? A condition, right? For a minute, we have a contradiction now. It says, we use these examples because that was what the Mishnah used, but this is your get if you serve my father for 2 years. This is your get if you'll nurse my child for 2 years. Mesa Av and Mesa Ben. Let's say the father died within the 2 years, or the son died within the 2 years. And there was a stipulation that she had to serve the father, attend to the father, or to nurse the child. So and then they died. So ain't a get. Meir says it's not a good get. Now this is going to be a little bit problematic. Because according to Reb Meir, he didn't double his the stipulation. According to Reb Meir, you have to do a Tanai Kafel. He just said on condition. Basically, the whole condition is worthless, according to Reb Meir. We'll see in a moment. The sages say, even if it wasn't fulfilled, it's still considered a good get. The person died. Now, the problem is that in our Mishnah we had that it is a stipulation. It has to be met. If this condition isn't met, then it's not a good get. And here the sages are saying that it is a good get. She can claim that, what do you want from me? I'm willing to attend to your father. Bring him over here. I'm willing to nurse the child. Bring him here. I'll nurse him. Child died. Father died. But he says she's saying that's not my fault. I'm available. Right. I'm sorry. It was 2 cases in the Mishnah. One was for 2 years, and one was for. This is a. Yeah, it was the Mishnah or a Brisa. This is a Brisa. Not the Mishnah. Okay. Gemara. I'm sorry. There was a second case in the Mishnah that did have a specific case. Yeah, that was one of the cases. That was case number 1. Case number 2 was when he says clearly 2 years. No, the first case had an argument, but he doesn't specify 2 years or 18 months. Case number 2 was when he says 2 years. Yeah. So kasha de Reb Meir, kasha de Rabbanan, we have a contradiction between what Reb Meir says and what Reb Meir says. We have a contradiction between what the rabbis say and what the rabbis say. Contradiction with Reb Meir was that in one place he says if you don't double the stipulation, you don't say back and forth, right? Then it's no good. It's not considered a stipulation. And the problem with the Rabbanan is that the Rabbanan said that you always have to keep the stipulation, and over here they say you don't. The Reb Meir like Kasha, the Gemara answers the question on Reb Meir. The answer is that even though we didn't say this specifically in the Brisa, but you have to explain the Brisa where he actually said it double. Notice the Brisa doesn't go through the whole story. He said it the Brisa is just telling me the condition that was stated, and he said it in the proper way, which means he said it. If you'll fulfill the condition, then it's good get. If you don't fulfill the condition, then it's not a good get. Rabbanan like kasha. It's not a contradiction on the sages, because man chacham dahachar Rab Shimon ben Gamliel. Who are the sages here? Who are the chachamim? It's the opinion of Shimon ben Gamliel. Shimon ben Gamliel's view is that anytime there's anything that's withholding the fulfillment of the stipulation is not her fault. Whenever it's not her fault, we say that the get is still a good get. Okay. Holding by Taner Rabbanan. Taner Rabbanan, basically we answered the contradictions. We said that it's the view of Shimon ben Gamliel in this second brisa, and that's why it's going to be acceptable. So in a brisa, if he says in front of two people, this is your get if on condition that you attend to my father for 2 years. And then he says to the woman, by the way, he didn't give her the get yet. He says, when I give you the get, it's going to be good if you. This is your get on condition that you give me 200 coins, $200. Then he gives her the get. So he made 2 stipulations. First one and the second one. The Brisa says, he did not nullify the first stipulation when he said, I want the money. He was giving an option. It says, either you do this, either attend to the father, and the get will be valid, or give 200 zuz to the husband, and the get will be valid. But let's say he tells in front of 2 people, this is your get, on condition that you give me 200 coins. And then he tells in front of 2 people, this is you get on condition that you give me 300 coins. This is what happens. People get greedy when they see it starting to work. They switched it on her. Says it's 300 coins I want. So everyone agrees that what he just did, he didn't give her the get yet, right? He was making up what the stipulation of the get's going to be. So, and then he gives her the get afterwards. That means that he's nullified the first stipulation of that first condition of 200 zuz, and he made it larger. He wants 300 zuz. And if you have witnesses, one witness from the first stipulation, and then you have another witness from the second stipulation, they want to come and testify that this get had a stipulation on it, that's not going to be a combination of 2 witnesses because each one has a different event that they witnessed. They have a different stipulation that they're attesting to. Hey, which case are you referring to when you say that you can't combine the 2 witnesses? If you're talking about that he nullified the first stipulation of the 200 coins, and now he's only continuing with the 300 coins. Haribitel, that was he nullified it. Of course, he can't use that witness. It doesn't exist anymore. El Aresh, we're talking about the first case. First case was when he said, on condition that you serve my father for 2 years, or the second stipulation was 200 zuz, and we said that either one was good. So we're taking one witness from one witness from another. Gemara says, Pshita, of course it's not going to work. Two separate things that they're attesting to. Gemara says, maybe we could say that all they're doing is saying that there is a condition to this get. You look at the general story, and each one is attesting to the general story. Kamash Malan, that it's not enough. In order to be a witness, you have to be able to attest to the actual stipulation that was made. And we don't have 2 that are stipulating the same one. Okay. Next case is Hareza Gitei, next Mishnah. Hareza Giteichem lebasim mikan ad shleishim yom. This is your get. If I stay away from here for 30 days, I got to be away for 30 days, and then this get will be valid. Notice if I don't come within 30 days, this get is good. Now he's going on a trip. And what he means is that when he gets to this place, he's going to wait over there 30 days. He reaches the city of Antifras, the Chazar, and then he comes back immediately. Bittul Tanai, he nullified the condition. He said he was going to stay away for 30 days, and he shows up right away.
Tricky.
Yeah, but he ruined his own stipulation. We had a teacher in the school. would quit like every day. The door would slam. He'd shout, "That's it, I quit." So like 10 minutes later, he was back in the classroom. Okay, guys, well, I'll give you one more chance. Anyway, so yeah, it didn't last long. It didn't last so long. So here the guy says, I'm not coming back for 30 days. This is going to be your get. It shows up in a day later. So that's not a good condition. This is your get if I don't return, if I don't come within 30 days. And he's going from the Galil to Yehuda. He's traveling south. He reaches this village of Usnai, and he immediately returns back to the Galil. So Batal tonight, he nullified the stipulation. He couldn't stay away for 30 days. Let's say someone is in Israel, and he says, "This is your get if I don't return within 30 days." Now, if I don't return within 30 days, this get will be valid. But Rigil Akko, he reaches Akko, which is on his way out of Israel. And then he returns right away. Batal tonight. He nullified the stipulation because he got already assumes he already passed the border of Israel, and now he's already coming back, and it wasn't 30 days yet. So bittul tonight, he nullified the stipulation, and it's not good. He didn't keep the stipulation. This is your get if I won't come in front of you for 30 days. Meanwhile, he's walking back and forth in front of her. Because he wasn't secluded together with her, it's still considered a good get. See in the Gemara what the explanation for that is. The Gemara starts off that why is this considered a violation, that he's not keeping the stipulation when he reaches this city or that? Well, we're understanding that when he says, "I'm not going to come back for 30 days," it means that first he has to get somewhere and then not come back. But if he's still hanging around because he didn't get his act together to even leave, then that doesn't matter. It's only going to start once he's gone. What does it mean gone? When he's reached at least some sort of destination. The Meimra, does this mean to say the Antifras Begalal Avikaima, that the fellow was in Yehuda? Case number one. He says that this is your get if I don't come back within 30 days. And he reaches Antifras. That means obviously he reached the Galil. Ramini, I have a contradiction. Antifras Yehuda. The city of Antifras is not in the Galil, it's in Yehuda, which means he hasn't even left his first location. Kfar Usnai, the Galil. In the Kfar Usnai is in the Galil, which continues with this with the question now, that we said that if he's in the Galil and he's leaving the Galil, he's going to Yehuda. When she reaches Kfar Usnai, he's already out. Now you're telling me he's not out, he's still in the Galil. Beintayim, the Brisa continues, it says if he's in between these two places, Usnai and Tifras, then Matil Naishal Chumra, then we don't know what his situation is. Is he in or is he out? Because it's in no man's land. So we take both stringencies. Migureshes, Vena Migureshes. He's divorced and not divorced. We don't know if he's keeping his condition or not. So basically, now we have a question from the Brisa to the Mishnah. Mishnah says that Antifras means that he's left the Yehuda. He's left the Galil, rather. And Antifras is, he was in Yehuda and he was going to the Galil. It means Antifras is in the Galil. That's what the Mishnah says. And then the Brisa tells me Antifras is in Yehuda. Okay. Amar Abaya says, Trey Tanai Ka Amarla. He actually told her two conditions. It says like this. Imatina le Galil. If I reach the Galil, then Alta Avigita. Then this is your get. Immediately. But if I just tally, if I wait on the way for 30 days and I don't return, then it's going to be your get. So in other words, either I get there, then it's your get immediately, Or he says, even if I don't get there, but if I wander around for 30 days and don't return, that's also going to be. He reaches Antifras and then he returns right away. And he didn't delay for 30 days. So, but till tonight, he didn't do either of them. Which means that all we're doing is we're switching the location here, that Antifras is not reaching his destination. And that's why he had to wait 30 days. If he reaches the destination, he doesn't need to wait 30 days. Okay. It sounds like he's telling some sort of like, check if it's raining around the corner. Just stay away for 30 days or get very far.
Is the underlying rationale here that he might be in danger from traveling to these places or traveling away?
Yeah, that could be. It could be, but not necessarily. Yeah, we would need a witness to tell us that he made it. This is you get if I don't return for 30 days. And then it says he reached Akko. You're telling me that Akko is outside the land of Israel. Rav Safra says, when the sages would take leave from each other, they were probably in Tveria. So how far is Akko from Tveria? It's close, right? They would walk along with the sages until Akko. Mishum Asa. Oh, what do you have over there? Tveria now. Okay, yeah, it's pretty close. It's the next dot on the map. So, and the reason is Mishum Dasalatis because they weren't allowed to leave Israel, which means Akko is part of Israel. From our Mishnah, we made it look like he reached already his destination, which is outside of Israel. Amar Abai gives us the same answer. Straight to Nai Karmela. He actually said two stipulations. If I reach my destination, which is outside of Israel, then it's immediately a get. But if I'm going to delay along the way for 30 days, then then it's going to be a good get also, even if I don't reach the destination. He reaches Akko, and then he returns, which means he did not reach. He didn't reach the destination, and he also didn't delay for more than 30 days. And batal tonight, then he nullified the stipulation. He didn't keep it. Okay. This is your get as long as I go away from you for 30 days. What do you mean? He didn't. The Mishnah says he's walking back and forth in front of her, and it's still considered a get. Amarav Papa, my panecha. What does he mean? Panayach, probably. He's telling her. He says, what does it mean that I won't see your face? I'll go away from your face. That really means tashmish. That means I won't have relations with you for 30 days. But my karle panechas, why do you say I'll leave your face? It says lishna mal yanakat. That was just clean language. He didn't want to say relations. It says panech. Rabbi Yochanan Amar la'ilam panecha mamish. Really, face means the face. Mikatani harezim megureshes. Does it say that the woman is considered divorced? Woman isn't divorced. Hareze get katani. He just says that it is a get. Get doesn't mean that she's divorced. Get means that the document is a good document. But why would it not be a good document? I mean, it's a piece of paper with some writing on it. The lay have a get yashan. What we mean to say is that it's not considered a get yashan. There was a problem of someone writing his wife a get, not giving it to her, and having relations with her before the delivery of the get. And the problem would be that she could conceive in between the writing of the get and the giving of the get. And the date on the get would be an earlier date than the actual get. Meanwhile, the child is born. Everyone goes back and says, "Oh, this child was born after they were divorced already. I was born out of wedlock." So that's a problem. What we're saying over here is because he didn't have relations with her. Not Rabbi Yochanan isn't saying relations. Because he wasn't together with her, even though he was walking back and forth, and she saw him or he saw her. So it's still considered a good get, but he still has to give the get. He has to give the get. he can use the get. The get wasn't nullified. He still has to disappear for 30 days. Well, the get yashan in chayshim, but we don't suspect to this concept of a get yashan, which means an old get. That means a get that was given, that was written, and then they had relations. Because he wasn't secluded with her. The Gemara says, shouldn't we have another concern? Should have another concern that maybe the husband's going to say that I don't want to give the get. Change my mind. He's going to say that he was appeased. He's not going to say he was appeased. How do they write it over there? He's going to be appeased and then claim that the get is not a good get. He's going to nullify the get. She's going to claim, I'm divorced, I'm free to marry anyone. He's going to show up and say, no, that get that I gave you wasn't good. What does he say to? And what does he claim? Oh, he's secluded with them. That would do it. He was secluded with her, and so therefore the get is nullified. Maybe he's going to claim that. Amar Rabba bar Rav Huna hachi Amar Abba Mari Mishmei de Rav. He says, my father says the name of Rav, which is Rav Huna. Rav Huna was a great student of Rav. He says, we're talking about that he told witnesses that she's going to have full control over this case. Whatever she says is going to go. So if she says that I wasn't there, then I wasn't there. But she's the only one to be trusted in. I trust her fully. Some say that this statement of Rabba bar Rav Huna in the name of Rav was said on the Mishnah, which the Mishnah said, says from now, if I don't come within 12 months, and this should be a get. He said me'achshav, of course, because if he doesn't say me'achshav from now, then there's no such thing as a get after he dies. But basically, he can't come because he died within the 12 months. The Gemara says, maybe he did appear. We don't know about it, and then something, and maybe it's not really a good get. He had told witnesses that whatever she claims regarding the stipulation, she's going to be trusted. If it was said about the Mishnah, where over there's no claim, the husband's not claiming anything, the husband has died, he's not showing up and creating a problem, but nevertheless, he still has to tell witnesses that the woman should be trusted. So Koshken Abraisa, then for sure, in the Braisa, when the husband actually shows up and could create a problem because he's still alive, for sure he should have to tell witnesses that we trust her, whatever she's going to say. Manda Masla Braisa, the one that says on the Braisa, you have to tell witnesses, Avala Masnisin Halayasa. But in the Mishnah, we really don't have to be concerned about anything because the fact is, we don't know that he showed up and he's dead, so it should be safe. The Mishnah says, new Mishnah, this is your get. If I don't return within 12 months. Well, now he dies. So, in a get, it's not a good get because in get lachamisa. When should the get take effect? After he's dead? He's not around. There's no get afterwards. If he says, this is your get from now, but on condition that I don't return within 12 months. Now it's a different story because it would be retroactive and the get would take effect from when he gave it to her while he was still alive. And then he dies. It's considered a good get because he used the word me'achshav. He said from now, if that takes it back, it's retroactive. If I don't return within 12 months, then kisfu tinu get lishti, write a get and give it to my wife. Kasfu get b'teichid beis chaydash. They were impatient. They wrote a get within the 12 months. And then they gave it after the 12 months, then in a get, it's not a good get. If kisfu tinu get lishti, if he says, write a get and give it to my wife, if I don't return within 12 months, if they wrote it within the 12 months, but they gave it after the 12 months, ain't a get. It's not considered a good get. Rabbi Yossi get. Rabbi Yossi says it is a get. The difference over here is this case and the last case. The last case was he said, if I don't return within 12 months, then you should write a get and give it to my wife, which means they were supposed to wait the 12 months. This case is, he says, write a get and give it to my wife if I don't return within 12 months. So now Rabbi Yossi is going to say that write a get right now and give it to my wife if I don't return within 12 months. Write a get, comma. Right? Commas are save lives, right? Remember that?
Mom. Hungry mom.
Well, how did it go? Let's eat, kids. Right. So, or it could be write a get, comma, and give it to my wife if I don't return after 12 months. Or it could be write a get and give it to my wife, comma, if I don't return after 12 months, which means both of them have to be. So that's a machlekes to Rabbanan and Rabbi Yossi. Kasvul achi yud beis chaydesh. It's machlekes where to put the comma. Kasvul achi yud beis chaydesh. V'nasal achi yud beis chaydesh. Umeis. If they wrote it after 12 months and they gave it after 12 months and he died. So obviously, ima get kaidon lamisari is a get. If the get was given before the death, then that's good. Misa kadma leget ain't a get. If he died first, then it's not good. V'mini yedua, and if you don't know, so we shamar migreshes then it's a question if she was divorced or if she's just a widow. The difference, divorced and a widow, is if she has to do yivam on the brother. She has to. Right? Sorry, right? Tana was
financially, it's the same outcome, isn't it?
Financially, it's almost the same outcome. She gets a ksuba either way. If she's divorced, then she can't live on the estate. She's off the estate. If she's a widow, she can live on the estate and not collect the ksuba until years down the road. Yeah, but it's almost the same. Both of them come with a ksuba. In other words, if she would take the ksuba, she could take the ksuba in both cases, and then she's out. If she's a widow, she doesn't have to take the ksuba right away. She can still hang around on the estate and never collect the ksuba and just live off that estate.
I think it's interesting that when it comes to engagement and marriage, the Rabbanim at some point made it to change the old way of doing things, the different time between Arusin and Katuna, because of the complications. And here we see the complications that arise from time and waiting. And it's interesting that the Rabbanim didn't make the kanas here to solve these problems.
I was going to say that same thing.
Well, actually, I think they did.
They did?
Yeah, they said no more stipulations in gets. Yeah, in halacha today, we stopped doing any stipulation.
Because one way of reading all this is it's just the Rabbanim trying to fill in the ambiguities in a contract.
Right. Exactly. But it was that advice that this chassid said. He said two partners. He was telling the partners, make a contract as if you're goyim. That way, when it ends, you'll act like Jews. Don't make a contract like Jews, and then you'll end up fighting like goyim.
So today there are no stipulations in the get.
Yeah, right. No.
Interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, I only know of the one time where in Bayas there was a stipulation. I wasn't on the case, but the rabbi said there was someone with a brain surgery, that if the brain surgery didn't go well, he wouldn't be able to function, to give his wife. He would be like in a vegetable state. So they actually gave a get. He was a kohen, that was the issue. He wouldn't be able to, see a kohen also. He didn't want her to be stuck, and he also didn't want to, he didn't want her to be stuck. So they ended up doing a get for the stipulation. That was like one very obscure case. Okay. Tana. So in the Brisa, Rabbi Sina really nasi. The sages allowed her to get remarried, even though he said, "This is your get if I don't return within 12 months," and he died. How's it supposed to? How's it supposed to be a get? The get is only going to take place after the 12 months, and he's dead already. Amar Rav Yudah Amar Shmuel. The Gemara says, "Man Rabbi Seinu, who would allow this?" Amar Rav Yudah Amar Shmuel Beidina Deshar Mishcha. It's the Bezdin that allowed the oil of non-Jews. Basically, the Bezdin in Avodah Zarah. We'll get to that. Bezos Hashem. That there was a Bezdin that allowed that oil doesn't need a hechsher. Several like Rabbi Yossi, they hold like Rabbi Yossi that you didn't have to say in the stipulation that this is your get from now. Why? Because there's a date in the document, and the date in the document tells me that it's from now. Special understanding here. Amar Rabba, Raid, Rab Chia Barabba, Rabbi Yechanan, Rabbi Yudah Nasiya, B'nai Shel Rabbi Gamliel, Bar Rebbe. Hira, do you have Hira there, or do you have here? Okay, my Gemara is old print. I'm missing something. Rabbi, the son of Rabbi Nasiya, the son of Rabbi Gamliel, the son of Rebbe, he paskin like this. But everyone else did not agree with him. Everyone say that everyone did not agree with him that time, but later on they did. Amar Rabbi Lazar lahu Saba. Rabbi Lazar tells to this sage, when he allowed her to get married, see, he said, if I don't return within 12 months, this is your get. And then he dies. And for whatever reason, the get is a valid get. Why? Because based on the law, he said me'achshav, or because of whichever way you want to do it, or because there's a date in the. Now, he's not coming back. He's not coming back. He died. So, question is, do we say that she can already get married now because we know it's a good get? We don't have to wait out the 12 months, or do we say that no, you have to wait out the 12 months? It's like a Mishachis type of question. Okay. Immediately she can get married because he didn't come. He has to fulfill the stipulation. You're taking the case of Paskaning like Rabbi Yehuda, or Paskaning like Rabbi Yudah Nasiya. And on the Mishnah itself, even if he says Miyachshav, the same question. La'alter I hai you have to wait 12 months. Gemara says yeah, same question. Mishum the Hava whom I said it was only he asked about a certain story that was going on, so that's why he asked over there. But the same question would have been on the Mishnah. Amar Abaya. Abaya says Abaya says that when the sun goes out of its sheath.
August.
So then it's going to be a good get if he says that. So l'chinafka kamala, when it comes out, and l'chimayas balayla habigita lachamisa. And what that means is really what this means is that when the sun comes out in the morning, I guess. So if he dies that night, he was at night, he gives it a get. He says, when the sun comes out, this is your get. So if he dies at night, then it's considered that it's a get lachem yisa. Or al menashe teitzecham renatika, and me'achshav kamala, or did he mean on condition that the sun comes out? And it really, when he uses the term on condition, then it means that this is your get from now. There's just a condition that needs to be met later, but it's really your get now, which means the get was given while he was alive, which would be a valid get. Anyone that says on condition, it means that he's saying from now. The whole machlekes is be'im teitzei. Not if he used the word likasheteitzei. Likasheteitzei, everyone says that it's no good. If he says almanas, everyone says that it is good. The whole question is if he says be'im teitzei, if it comes out. We had this discussion before. One opinion says that we're going to pass on like Rabbi Yossi that says that we look at the date in the document, and the date in the document is today, which means that it's starting today, and that means just like the case of from today, if I die, which means the other opinion would say that it's like imati, which doesn't hold like Rabbi Yossi, and it's not a good divorce because it would be after the death. Okay, kisvu tinu get l'ishti am leibasim mikan v'yaduvei chedesh kisvu chulu. Write and give a get to my wife if I do not return within 12 months. So they wrote the get within the 12 months, and then they gave it after the 12 months. Amle Rav Yemel Rav Ashi lema ksav Rav Yossi kasav get al tonight kasher. Maybe Rav Yossi holds that you don't need to fulfill the stipulation because they wrote the get too early. Where it says loy. Rav Ashi responds, really, if you don't fulfill the stipulation, of course it's no good. The language tells me that he meant something different. The word order here tells me that he meant something different. He didn't say, if I do not return, then you should write and give the get. He said, write and give if I don't return. What he meant is, write it from now, comma, and then give it if I don't return. The Rabbanan didn't make that distinction. They say that there's no comma there, and everything should have been written later. That's why there's a machlekes Rabbanan Rabbi Yossi if that's a good get. Tana Rabbanan. So in the Braisa lacher shavua, someone says, "This is your get. If I do not return for a shavua, what does shavua mean? It means shmita. If I don't return for 7 years, this is your get. Now, after the 7 years, this is your get. How long after the 7 years do you have to wait for this to be the get? Shana. It means 1 year after the 1 year after. That means the 8th year. Lachar Shana, he says, if I don't return after a year, this is your get. It means 1 month after the year is good. It's Chedesh. 1 month. That's all you have to wait. Lachar Chedesh, if he says, if I don't return after 1 month, it means Shabbos. It means 1 week after the month is already considered that he didn't return. Lachar Shabbos, he says, if I don't return after the week, how long do you have to wait? What's going to be then? Yosef Rab Zera Kamid Rabasi Ramla Rabasi Kamid Rabbi Yechanan. Rab Zera was sitting in front of Rabasi, and some say it was Rabasi sitting in front of Rabbi Yechanan. Kamar said like this: Echad b'Shabbat on Sunday, you trade plus Monday and Tuesday plus Shabbat. That's called after Shabbos. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday is called after Shabbos. So you'd have to wait till Tuesday. Arba v'chamisha mali Shabbata. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Kamei Shabbat is considered before Shabbos. Divide the weekend between Tuesday and Wednesday. There's after Shabbos and before Shabbos. Tanya was taught in the Braisa, Rabbi Amilachar a regal. Someone says after the holiday. Shleishim Yom, that means 30 days. Nafak Reb Chia went out. Reb Chia was a student of Rebbe. Drasha Mishmei de Rebbe Bekalse. He said this over in the name of Rebbe, and everyone said, wow, it's very nice. Rebbe said that. Mishmei de Rabbim, but then one time he said it, and he didn't say it. It was the name of Rebbe. He said that. Everyone holds this. B'lei Kol Suah, they didn't accept it. Alma, what's the reason why? We see that Bless Ilchos Kavasei. If Rebbe says it, then fine, that was an individual opinion. But when he said it like as if everyone holds that, so then they didn't accept. Okay, let's leave it over here.
Yeah,
Quick
fantastic.
question.
Have a
The
great day.
comment that you made right at the beginning of this year, that when something is stated once in the Torah, it's a generalization, but twice it's limited to those times
Right.
it's used. Is that one of the Yud Gimel Midos? Is that Binyan Mishneh Ksuvim?
You know what? I'm not sure. I don't think so,
No.
because that would be something that we don't learn.
Hey, we don't learn any generalization because it's
Yeah. I have to look that up.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, have a good day.
Thank
How
you.
the
Have a
kids,
great day.
how the grandkids?
Baruch Hashem.